Welcome to the presentation of why changing your mindset will change your life. My name is Itai Pearl, and my online education platform is Manifestations Academy. And today I'm going to be presenting this free live training for everyone. So, the topics we will be covering today is going to be number one, who are you right now? Number two, what do you stand for based on your actions? Number three, who do you want to be? Number four, what do you want to stand for? Number five, are you living in alignment? Number six, what are your intentions? Number seven, what is your overall plan? Number eight, what is your specific action plan? Number nine, what obstacles might you be facing? And number 10, what environment are you in? So let's get started. All right. So, who are you right now? And it's important to just be 100% honest with yourself and be clear in this part. We have four pillars of life: the relationship category, business, career, physical and mental health, and spirituality. So, who you are right now is going to be, different in each one of these categories. You'll have different ways of identifying yourself in all four aspects of life, right? So, who you are right now is not what others think you are, what you think others might think you are, or what you think you can be, or what you want to be, or what you even used to be. Who you are right now is just a current reflection of what you are currently doing, what you are currently thinking, and how you are currently feeling. So, I like to think of this as kind of like your current location. If you were to go on Google Maps and you were trying to look up a location to go somewhere, let's say you're going to a restaurant to eat for dinner, and you Googled the address, Google is going to ask you where's your current location. And so, in order for you to build your roadmap, you need to know where your starting point is. And so it's important to be honest with yourself, even if you're not in a place where you want to be. Um, releasing that shame or that guilt of wherever you're at right now and just being honest, like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. Maybe it's not where I want to be, but I know that I'm being 100% honest and clear with where I'm starting. And that's the only way I can create a roadmap to get to where I want to be. So once you have that down and you know where you are right now, the next thing is to go to what do you stand for based on your actions? And the reason I say based on your actions is because a lot of the times we have these ideas of what we stand for, but we don't always follow through with those with our actions. Some people say, like, do as I say, not as I do, right? And that's because we're not always in alignment with what we want to be doing and what we're actually doing. And so checking in with yourself and seeing what do I stand for based on my actions is really important. And what you stand for based on your actions is not what you would like to be doing, but you're not doing. And it's not what you tell yourself you need to be doing, or what you know you need to be doing, but you're not, or what you wish you could be doing, but you're not. What you stand for based on your actions is what you are currently doing and what values are attached to your current actions and how those actions are making you feel and how those actions are making others feel. So you want to look at your actions specifically, not really your idea of what you want to be, but your actions specifically of what you're actually doing, and look at the reality of, what values are being attached to those current actions, even if they're not the actions that you really want to be doing, just so you can assess kind of where you're at realistically, and you don't have some kind of false precedence or kind of like bias of where you're at currently. And once you get to that point and you can be 100% honest where you're at and what values your actions are standing for, you can look into who you want to be. And who you want to be is not who you are right now. Because if you are who you want to be right now, that's simply you, and you wouldn't want to be that because you already are that. You can't want to be something that you are. You only want to be something that you aren't, because if If you have it, you don't want it, right? So what you want to be is not what other people tell you that you should be. Because if you feel like you should be something, that means that you feel it's something that like should be done, but you don't really want to do it. So there's a reason why you're not wanting to do it. There's some kind of disconnect, because if you did want to do it, you would just be, going out and doing it. You wouldn't be feeling like, man, I really should do that. You would just be like, I'm doing that. Like it's happening, right? So you got to see what is the disconnect and why do I feel like I should be doing this, but I don't really want to. And what society, what you want to do is not what society tells you that you need to do. Society might tell you, that you need to do these certain things, and, successful people do such and such thing. But if that doesn't resonate with you and who you really are, you know, you should look at your actions based on, your true authentic self and what you really want to be doing, not what you think other people are going to think of you if you do this, or if you're going to be accepted socially or anything like that. And what you want to be is not what you think is realistic right now. So oftentimes when we have goals and dreams and aspirations, they're pretty unrealistic in the moment, and they could be realistic down the road. And you might get there someday, but right now in your current situation, if you told someone that you're going to do this, it might look unrealistic to them. So just because something's unrealistic right now doesn't mean that it's unrealistic forever. It doesn't mean you can't get there later, after you go through a process. Just like if you're on Google Maps and you're searching a restaurant and you're like, I want to go to this restaurant, and it's like, okay, it's 20 minutes away. You wouldn't expect to go to that restaurant instantly the second you searched for the directions. You would understand that it's going to take 20 minutes going down such and such road, and you have to follow the path and drive your car, get there, right? So there's a process you have to go through to get there. It's not an instant thing, so it's not going to be realistic right away, and that's okay. So who you want to be is your authentic self, your dream self, your desired outcome, your best case scenario, your ideal situation. Who you want to be is really a reflection of your true self, without judgment, without influence from others, without pressure from outside external influences. Who you want to be is like, I like to imagine, if I had to do what I do for free, would I still do it? If everybody, accepted me and loved me no matter what I did, what would I do? And so you remove those external factors of like, how much money am I going to make? Or are people going to accept me? Or, what are people going to think of me? Like, if you remove all of those external factors and you just look at it from your own internal self, your true self, your highest self, what would you really want to do? And who do you really want to be? And what do you want to stand for? So here, it's really important to look at who you want to be and think about that person, that ideal situation, that ideal self or ideal version of yourself. Who would that person stand, or what would that person stand for? So what you want to stand for is not what you currently stand for. Because again, if you want to do something, that means you're not doing it. And if you currently stand for something that you like and you are, holding a value that you appreciate or that you want to keep holding, this is not something that you're going to want to stand for, because you're already doing it. So that's completely fine. That's not something that you need to work on. But again, we have the four pillars of life. So, you could have really good relationships and you could have a really good career, but you could have poor physical and mental health, and you could be really disconnected spiritually. So just because you are good in a couple aspects of life doesn't mean that you might have some things you need to work on in different aspects of life. So what you want to stand for is not what you think you should stand for. So there's a lot of ideas of like people saying, well, you really should be accepting, or you really should be this, or you really should be that. And if that doesn't resonate with you, if you don't feel like that is like reflecting with you truly in your authentic self, there's a reason for that. And you should examine, why do you feel that way? Um, Maybe that's not really what you want. Maybe you're just feeling pressure from external sources to feel a certain type of way. And so, what you want to stand for is not what others tell you that you should stand for, or what values you were raised as a child to have. So, as a child, we are very subconsciously programmed. We're like a sponge. So, we're just accepting everything that's coming in, and we might grow up to embrace those values that we learn as a child, and that's perfectly fine. If you truly resonate with those values, you can continue with that programming. But what you should do as an adult is reevaluate the programming that you had when you were a child and see, do you truly resonate with that, or is that just what you're going for because that's your default, because that is what you're used to, and it's easier for you not to change and just keep doing the same thing than for you to go through that process of changing. And so you're just going to stick with whatever you got. So it's important to evaluate, am I this way because I was raised this way and I just don't want to change? Or am I this way because I truly resonate with these values and I want to keep these values? And so, what do you want to stand for is what aligns with what you want to be. It is what values align with your ideal self, what values you resonate with the most, and what values you feel come naturally, and what values you feel are authentic to your true self. So once you kind of look at where you're at and what you stand for, what you want to stand for, and who you want to be, you can kind of look at these things and say, am I living in alignment? Is who I am right now who I want to be? Is what I stand for right now based on my actions what I want to stand for? And if you're not in alignment, you kind of have to recognize, like, there's something that I need to change, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you want to be more in alignment, but your, actions are standing for something other than what your idea of your true self or your highest self or your ideal self stands for, then there's something that you're doing that you need to change in order to be more in alignment with what you want. So from there, you can say, okay, well, there's all these different aspects of life. Maybe some aspects are in alignment and some aren't. So those aspects that are in alignment, great, you can just keep those aligned. But those ones that aren't in alignment, you might need to look at those a little bit deeper. So once you find something that might be out of an alignment, what you do is you start looking towards your intentions. Why do you want to do what you want to do? And why are you not doing it right now? What purpose is motivating you to do what you want to be doing? And what is motivating you to do, what you're doing right now, which is not in alignment? So you want to look at the reasons that are behind your desires. What do you tell yourself? Like, why are you doing these things? If you're doing something and you're like, well, I'm doing this because I want to be successful. It's like, okay, well, who told you that you need to do this to be successful? Well, society always told me that I needed to do this to be successful. Was that an external source? Is that an internal source? That's an external source. So you're seeking external validation by doing something you think society is going to, tell you that you're doing well, instead of actually looking toward yourself and doing what you really want to do. And so you got to reevaluate, am I really doing that authentically as myself, or am I doing that just to put up this front and so that people will accept me? And so you have to look at your intentions and think, what do I really want to do? And how would I how would accomplishing this make me feel? So if you're feeling stuck, or if you're feeling depressed, or you're feeling unfulfilled in life, you know, you might want to make some changes to be more in alignment with your true self. And once you do that, you might feel joy, you might feel fulfillment, you might feel, more happiness or more motivation. So if you're looking for those kinds of feelings, getting more in alignment with your authentic self is really going to help you feel that way. And so, what would happen if you accomplish this? So, you might feel like really stuck, or you might feel like nothing you do is good enough, or something like that. And if you tune into your authentic self and you start doing things that are more in alignment, you might feel a sense of freedom. You might feel like a weight is lifted off your chest. And so, what would happen, if you were able to do these things? How would you feel? How would that affect your life? And what effect would it have on not only yourself, but other people in your life? So, once you can start living like that, your relationships are going to improve because you're going to be authentically connecting with other people who are also authentically themselves, instead of connecting with people, that might be a masked version of what you think you need to be connecting with, but you guys aren't really connecting because you're not being your true self. You're going to have more success in your career. You're going to have, a better spiritual connection, and you're going to have better physical and mental health. But what is your overall plan? Once you look at all these different things and you're like, okay, these things are in alignment, that's great. These things aren't in alignment. Um, I need to do something about this. I know that I need to make a change, but I don't know what change I need to make. This is when you get into the planning stage. So these are your intentions. I wish to, get more physically in shape. I've gained a few pounds, and, I'm looking to work out more. So what are you planning on doing to make it happen? What is your overall plan? Here, it's really important to focus on consistency over immediate results. And it's important to look at your goals and see if they're SMART goals: specific, achievable, measurable, realistic, and time bound. Exactly what are you wanting to do? And what you're wanting to do, is it physically possible? So let's say you are wanting to get in shape and you're wanting to lose 60 pounds. You're 260, want to get down to 200 pounds. Is that physically possible? Well, yeah, it's possible. Um, you know exactly what you want to do. So you want to lose 60 pounds. And how will you know when it's done? It's important to have some kind of measure. So you're saying, okay, not only do I want to get in shape, but I want to lose 60 pounds. So that's being specific and measurable. And has anyone done this before, and how did they do it? So you can look at other people who have gone through weight loss transformations, and, you know, try and figure out, what kind of workout routine were they on? What kind of meal plans were they on? And how long is it going to take you, making the time bound? What is your major timeline and what is your micro timeline? So if you look at 60 pounds and you're like, okay, that's a lot of weight, um, it might take me a year to lose that. And then you might break that down into micro goals and say, okay, well, I need to lose 5 pounds per month for 12 months, and that's going to give me 60 pounds over a year. So instead of having this glooming large goal of like, wow, I need to lose 60 pounds, you can say, I just need to lose 5 pounds a month. And that's much easier to look at. And you just know that you do that every month for 12 months and you're going to get to your bigger goal. So now you break that down and you're like, well, I just need to lose, a pound and a quarter every week. So now you can make a meal plan and you can say, okay, um, I'm going to count my calories and I'm going to make sure that I'm doing um, a quarter pound less of food per day. And that's going to get me the weight loss goal that I want. Or I'm going to run the treadmill for 30 minutes. I'm going to, burn these amount of calories, and that's going to get me the weight loss that I want. So now you can start to create a realistic goal based on those large timelines, based on those micro timelines. You can break that down so that it doesn't seem like such a large, over overwhelming goal anymore. And so from here, you get into your specific action plan. What specific actions are you going to be taking? And it's important to put a date and a time on it. So create a schedule to map out your specific tasks. Create your 1 year, 6 month, 3 month, 1 month, weekly, daily, and even hourly specific action plans. This is so important because, just like I talked about, is like breaking things down. You look at that 60 pounds, and if every single day you woke up and you're like, I need to lose 60 pounds, you'd be like, that's impossible to do in one day. And so you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to overeat. You're not going to work out. You're not going to do anything about it because it's so overwhelming. But if you're like, all I need to do is run 30 minutes on the treadmill today and make sure I don't eat over 2,000 calories, that's something you can do. That's something you can do every single day. Now you have, a specific action plan as to what you need to do. And it's important to tell somebody what you're doing. Let them know after you've accomplished it. Talk to somebody about it. Be like, hey, look, I'm doing this thing where I'm going to be running the treadmill 5 days a week for 30 minutes. I would really love it, if I could just shoot you a picture and let you know after each one of my workouts, so I can stay accountable. Get somebody that, maybe is also on a similar journey, and you guys can push each other to, help each other achieve your goals. And what will happen if you don't do it? And what will happen if you do it? Find a way to reward yourself for what you plan on doing, and also find something that you can do that you might not want to do if you don't end up accomplishing your goal. So you could set up a little system with your friend where, every time you don't send them a picture of you running on the treadmill, you got to cash out them $10. And so you can make a little game out of it. Like, okay, well, I got to send them that photo, or I'm going to have to cash out them $10. That's just an example, but, do something that's going to motivate you to do that. And then also, if you do accomplish that, maybe you have your favorite TV series that you watch for 30 minutes when you get home. You could say, if I don't run the treadmill for 30 minutes, then I don't get to watch my TV show. But if I do, then when I get home, I get to enjoy my favorite TV show. So that's a reward that you can attach to your goal. So you feel like once you do something, you're getting rewarded for it, because our brains work on a reward system. So if you're not rewarding yourself in these small little moments throughout life, you're going to get burnt out, and you don't want to just accomplish your main goal. You don't want to say, well, I'm not going to reward myself at all until I lose 60 pounds, because that whole treacherous journey through an entire year is going to be miserable. But if every single day that you work out, you get to watch your TV show, it's going to be a lot easier because you're getting that instant reward every single day, every time you accomplish your goal. And so from here, you got your action plan and you know what you need to do. So what might go wrong that you can predict right now? Like, what obstacles are you going to be facing that you could say, okay, I know things are going to come up. Not every single day I'm going to be able to do this. So what potential solutions can you think of that can help you overcome that potential obstacle? And what can you do to prepare now that's going to make that potential obstacle less likely in the future? For me, every day I work out, I bring my gym bag to the gym, and I take a shower and I change, so I have my gym clothes in there. And so what makes it easier for me is when I prepare my gym bag and I get all my clothes ready and I throw it in my bag, I have it right by the door. So, when I wake up, I can just make my protein shake, jump, grab my bag, and leave. So that's something that I do to prepare so that it just makes it easier for me to accomplish my goal. And the more things that you can do to prepare, the easier it's going to be to make that decision in the moment. If you're wanting to drink water every morning when you wake up, if you fill up a water bottle and you put it right by your bed, that's going to make it easier to drink water when you wake up. If you don't want to sleep in, you can put your alarm clock across the room. Now you have to get up to smack the alarm clock. You can't just hit snooze from your bed. So, what kind of things can you do to overcome these potential obstacles? And how do you perceive these obstacles in your life? It's really important to look at these obstacles as learning opportunities instead of looking at them as setbacks and things that are just like here to destroy your life. You know, if you look at everything as like this is happening to me, and then you're going to be feeling like the victim, you're going to be feeling like, why are these things always happening to me? And, I just, all this is happening to me all the time. It's just so overwhelming. And it's like, I can never catch a break. But instead of looking at it with that perspective, if you look at it like, wow, I'm so blessed to be able to learn these opportunities and grow from these opportunities. And, you know, I'm getting really short tempered right now. And I'm so thankful that I'm able to learn more patience, or, I'm learning to grow stronger. I'm so thankful that I made this workout routine because it's learning, it's teaching me how to grow stronger and, be more physically fit. So you could look at it as like this is a bummer or this is something that's happening to you. You could look at it as something that's happening for you so you can learn and grow and become a better version of yourself. And lastly, how fast can you adapt and overcome? When you're looking at something that you're going to do anyways, the question becomes how quickly can you do that? So, if you're sleeping in for 30 minutes every morning and you know that when that alarm clock goes on, like you want to get up, but you don't get up for 30 minutes, you're waiting that 30 minutes and you still get up every day, but it takes you 30 minutes to get up. So you're not doing that very quickly. But if you can find a way to smack that alarm and you get up instantly, you're going to be saving 30 minutes every single day. You're making the same decision to get up in the morning, but you're doing it faster. And so that's going to get you to your goal faster. So if you're able to do these things, but you're kind of hesitating or you're putting them off or you're procrastinating on them, finding a way to shorten that gap of that time period that it takes from the thought of, I need to do this or this is something I want to do, to the point where I am doing this and I'm taking action, I'm making this happen. The shorter you can make that gap, the faster you're going to get to your goal. So the next thing is, what environment are you in? Are you working from home? Are you in an office space? Is your space cluttered? Is it organized? You know, you want to look at your environment, and not only the physical things, but who are you around at home and at work? And who are you talking to during the day? What type of influences are you exposed to? What kind of news channels do you get your reporting from? What kind of people's advice are you taking? And where are these people at in life? And what kind of thoughts are occupying your mind? It's really important to look at your environment socially, physically, mentally, um, because your environment shapes your reality. And, like what tools do you have around you daily? If you are wanting to do something, preparing those tools and putting those tools around yourself is going to help you do those things. And if you're trying not to do something, having those tools around you is going to make it more difficult not to do those things, because now you have all the tools that you need right in front of you. So preparing your environment to be conducive to your goals is going to give you the leg up. It's going to give you that extra boost towards what you want, and reducing the amount of things in your environment that you don't want that are not going towards your goals is going to help you stay away from the things that you are trying to get away from. And finally, it comes down to discipline and consistency. Creating a habit takes 66 days, and solidifying a habit as automatic can take 90 plus days. So I like to look at it as changing 1% per day can make you 100% different in 100 days. And when you're disciplined and consistent, you can make that happen. So it's not about doing everything in one day. It's about doing just a little bit every single day over a long period of time until you can see results. So you have to be patient with this process. And, good things are worth waiting for. When you look at the longer term mindset versus the short term mindset, you're actually releasing more serotonin versus dopamine. And the serotonin is the chemical in your brain, responsible for long term joy and fulfillment versus dopamine, which is the short term pleasure and instant gratification. So you want to look at activities that are releasing serotonin versus dopamine. Activities like working out, getting in the sun, um, eating healthy. These are all things that are, producing serotonin versus dopamine is like watching television or, drinking alcohol or gambling. Like all of these things are instant gratification and pleasure seeking activities. So you want to look at what are you dosing yourself chemically with in your brain by taking these certain actions, and how is that affecting your life, and is that conducive with your goals and your action plan? And if it's not, what can you do that would be more in alignment to get you back on track so that you can achieve those goals in the time period that you set out? And that's it for the live training today. I'm super stoked that you guys tuned in, and I'm really happy to be able to present all this information to you guys today. So I want to offer you a free coaching call, mindset coaching call. Um, if you feel so inclined, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Manifestations Academy, or you can reach out to me through my email at etipro@manifestationsacademy.com. You can shoot me a text or give me a call at my phone number. I'm also located in Portland, Oregon. If you would like to meet up in person, I'm going to be doing some in-person meetup events pretty soon. And if you like podcasts, you can listen to me at the Manifestation Mindset podcast on Spotify. And just message me, reach out to me, and I'll get you a link so we can do a free mindset coaching session. And in that coaching session, I can dive deeper into your specific mindset goals, and we can kind of go back and forth and see if I can help you in any aspects of your life, to help you kind of get your dreams into reality. So I really appreciate you guys joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out.